I used to be involved with a group, or still am involved with a group called Citizens Climate Lobby. When I first learned about climate change, I became so alarmed and I thought, gosh, what can anybody do? And I learned about this Citizens Climate Lobby group, one day on the radio or something. So I joined my local chapter, and we're focused on working on getting a price on carbon to make it commensurate with the damage that it causes. So let the free market regulate. And, but it's just that it's all done at the federal level, and there's just so little action at the federal level that people can agree on. So I felt like I'm not going to accomplish anything unless I do it at the local level. So that's where I came up with an idea to start a sustainability committee. And as you can see here, from our mission statement, we're all about improving the quality of life for citizens in Rockford, socially, economically, and environmentally, of course. So pretty much, I wanted to say too that last week I got a chance to sit in on one of the Reimagined Plainfield sessions, and just surprised at and pleasantly surprised at the wonderful vision they've laid out there. And I know you all are probably very involved in that. So it made me feel like we're all kind of looking in the same direction. We're looking at our communities to make them more sustainable. So what exactly is sustainability? Well, Merriam-Webster defines it as a method of using a resource so that it's not depleted or damaged. And they also call it a lifestyle involving sustainable methods. And I really liked the definition about a lifestyle, because to me, that sort of connotes that it's like a metamorphosis. We're going from an old way of doing things to a new way of doing things. And I think that's really what we all need to do if we want to continue to live on this beautiful ball that we all call home. So that's when I first came up with the idea for a sustainability committee. This is how I sort of structured it. I wanted to see 7 pillars of sustainability: energy, waste, water, land, transportation, and community. And when I talked to the city manager, he says, well, what does community have to do with that? But I believe that even though it doesn't seem like a resource that could be depleted, a community can very much be depleted if we don't take care of all the other 6 pillars. So we try to, in all of our actions now, we try to focus on the triple bottom line, which is people, planet, and normally you say profit, but we say prosperity. So what is it that makes a community thrive? So our little sustainability committee was approved in November of 2018 by the city council. We drew up some bylaws and took it to the city council. I made a presentation and they approved it. And so we got busy getting our team together. We had 7 board members initially, and we had our first meeting already in December of 2018. Since that time, we've gone from 7 to 9 board members, just because we couldn't really say no to a few applicants that we really liked. So, but we function as an advisory group to the Rockford City Council, and we have our monthly meetings on the 3rd Tuesday, which happens to be today. So we'll have a meeting this evening. Some of the initiatives that we've taken on since we formed include these. We hit the ground running in 2019 with a community education series that we call Live and Learn. And we were having those Live and Learn sessions every month on the 2nd Tuesday at the Rockford Community Cabin. And we'd have a different topic every month. Of course, then we all know COVID happened and we couldn't do that anymore. So, but we also that first year did, for the first time ever at our start of summer celebration, we had recycling, which doesn't seem like should have taken that long, but anyway, that was a good thing. And then in the beginning of 2020, in January of 2020, we rolled out our Green Leader program, which I'll talk about in a little bit in more detail, but that's just for Rockford area businesses to sort of show their sustainability efforts and earn, rewards for that. Even after COVID hit, though, we still were able to get some work done. We got the city of Rockford to look at a few solar bids to put solar panels up on some of the Rockford city facilities. We're still in the process of negotiating that, but I think it will happen. We also had a summer intern last year from Michigan State University, and she was wonderful. She helped us put the city utility bills into a software package called Energy Star Portfolio Manager. And that allows us to track the city energy usage and begin to calculate our carbon footprint. So that was a great thing. And then we also applied for a bronze level in a group called Michigan Green Communities. That is an organization that just rates communities on their sustainability efforts. So we applied for and received the bronze level. We're hoping to move up to silver pretty soon. And then this year, we've already had 2 styrofoam recycling events, which were a great success. And actually, we stole that idea from Northview because I saw that on the Northview website. So that was great. Now, I said I would talk a little bit more about the Green Leader application. To become a Green Leader, you fill out an application and you have to get a minimum of 2 activities in each of these 4 categories. So for example, if you are a restaurant and you are composting your organic material, then you would get 2 points in the waste and recycling category. If you have, say, a programmable thermostat in your office, you would get a point for water, energy, and air. Or maybe you have an energy audit done, so you get a point for that. Let's say you have a bicycle rack outside your business so that people can ride their bike to your facility, then you would get a point for land and transportation. And community and policy, maybe you sponsor an event that is a sustainable event, so you could get a point for that. So then you add up all your points and you qualify at either bronze, silver, or gold. And then you get one of these lovely stickers. This is the silver level that can you all see that? I don't know if you can, but you put that on your front door of your business. And then we've had a lot of comments from business owners that say that it really makes a difference to their customers to see that sticker on their door. So here are our current Rockford Green Leaders. The very first one to apply was Rockford Brewing Company, and they so knocked it out of the park. They're still our top point earner. But Ramona's Table, the restaurant here in Rockford, was the most diligent by far. They wanted to be a gold leader, and they applied and didn't have enough points to reach gold. So we recommended a few things that they could do, and they did everything on the list. So they were very diligent. And the rest of these businesses are either silver or bronze. We just had another business apply last week, our Epilogue Bookshop. So that's been great. It's given us a good opportunity to talk to business owners about sustainable efforts and kind of get to know them and have an exchange. So it's really been a great program. So we hope to grow that program this year. And some of our other goals include getting the city council to sign a proclamation on a climate goal. And I made a presentation last week to the city council and recommended that they sign a proclamation saying that they support the goals set forth by the state of Michigan and by the US government, which is to say that we would be carbon neutral by 2050. So if they go for that, and I think they will, we're getting the proclamation finalized, and we'll take it back to the council at their May meeting. So if they sign it, then we'll have to get a group of stakeholders together, like business owners, and come up with our own climate action plan or climate resilience plan, whatever you want to call it, in Rockford. And then we'll start, using that plan as a roadmap for the sustainability committee's actions. And that will hopefully lead us to the silver level as a Michigan Green community. And another thing that, of course, we want to do as soon as we can all safely get together again is to resume our community education series. So that's kind of what we're up to in Rockford. And we would love to have you visit our website or our Facebook page and like us. And if you like us on our Facebook page, maybe you can comment occasionally and people will see your business, and we can all help each other out. So that's my little spiel, and I thank you again for your interest, and I'd be happy to answer any questions that you might have.
Mindy, I wanted to ask, obviously what you've created was really dependent on the Rockford City Council and their response to you. And I was just wondering, when you first waltzed in there and made a presentation, I mean, what was their reaction?
Well, that's a good question. They were actually great. It was interesting. The first time I came up with the idea, I went to the city manager's office and I sort of pitched it, and he said, well, I've never heard of that, but I don't see anything wrong with it. So that's when I put my presentation together. And when I gave it to the council, there were a few people that said they needed more time to think about it. So we had a little committee that we formed and met a few times, but for the most part, everyone was really on board with it. In fact, we have a council rep now on our committee, Cheryl Scales, and she's been great. And the city manager attends every one of our meetings too. So they've been very supportive.
Mindy, how involved are you with other communities, associations, chambers, et cetera? You primarily go just through the city council, or do you try to get also involved in things like, an equivalent to a NEBA in Rockford?
Well, we have the Chamber of Commerce office that actually shares almost the same space as at our city hall. It's all one big complex there. And one of the chamber members or chamber employees actually applied to be on our board. So we try to work really closely with them. It turns out she didn't get picked because her meetings are the same time as ours, so she couldn't come to any of the meetings. But yeah, we work very closely with the Downtown District Authority and the Chamber of Commerce. So.
Mindy, I've got a question too. When Deb introduced you as being going to do the presentation and such, and I reached out to you and welcomed you, I did a little bit of Googling, and I noticed that there's other sustainable communities, around the country and such. So are you the first one here in Michigan or what?
Oh, not at all. There's a number of sustainability groups in Michigan. Most notably, of course, is Grand Rapids has a huge sustainability effort going, and Ann Arbor and Detroit and all that. But even cities or towns the size of Little Northport up in, they have a sustainability committee, and they've actually made commitments to support the state goals and all that stuff. So the whole climate action plan. So yeah. Sorry.
So is your format, a takeoff? I mean, do you use the state's guidelines to tailor your recommendations and awards and such?
That's a really good question. That Michigan Green Communities that I was talking about has a list of things that you can do to be a sustainable community. So that's been a big help to us. And then in terms of coming up with a climate action plan, there's all kinds of stuff you can find on the web, but the EPA has guidelines that they publish for communities to become sustainable too.
Okay, thank you.
Good question.
So it sounds like you worked with the chamber. Is that how you presented to most businesses, or have you had to go one-on-one?
It's been more one-on-one. We started with people that we already knew and asked them if they would be interested in applying. And then the biggest problem is our application is really awkward. We don't have any budget, so we don't have. We end up actually helping most businesses apply because we use PowerPoint for the application so that they can upload pictures. We like to have pictures of the businesses and their sustainable efforts so that we can post those on our Facebook page and, you know, help promote that business. So, but yeah, did that answer your question?
Yes,
Sort of.
sort of. So it just reveals that the city basically has said, well, you can do this, but we're not giving you any money.
Right. We're giving you a pat on the back and support if you really need it. So, but they have been great about helping us. If, like, for example, we wanted to become members of the Michigan Recycling Coalition, which is my 1 o'clock meeting, by the way, but that costs $200 to join. So they paid for that and, you know, stuff like that. They've been very supportive.
Okay, well, that's good to hear.
Just don't have a formal budget yet.
Gotcha.
So,
Okay, are there any other questions then from our team here? All right, great.
I guess I have one. Sorry,
sure.
I was
No.
just curious with the direction, obviously, that the federal government is taking in terms of the proposals for infrastructure, investment, et cetera. How involved, or have you guys been involved in conversations in terms of on the local level things to prepare or to kind of, you know, have in mind with you know, that whole direction being laid out right now?
Yeah, that's a good question. It's a, you know, it's going to be one of those things where if we really want to achieve carbon neutrality by 2050, it's going to take a lot of work. So there's lots of ideas and lots of different ways to get there. And that's why we wanted to be proactive and get Rockford thinking about it now, setting our own goals that we feel are achievable rather than waiting till we've kicked the can so far down the road that it's really going to be painful. So we will probably start with the city facilities and try getting them to get off fossil fuels. And then of course, we'll have to look at area businesses and then eventually residents. And that's why, Dave, I was kind of asking you about home inspections and that sort of thing. I know some cities are requiring homes to have a home energy score so that a buyer will know when they're buying a home how efficient that home is and that sort of thing. And that would be a great thing for us because then we could help target those homes and help people who need to do energy upgrades or convert from gas to electricity or something like that. We could help them get there. So I don't know, it's going to be a lot of planning, a lot of cooperation from businesses and everybody to really get there. So I don't know if that answered your question, Bob, or not, but.
No, I mean, it helps.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Sure.
So Mindy, just to wind up here then, it sounds like you're willing to do an awful lot of mentorship, both to individual people and organizations and stuff. Do you really have the resources, or are you like ever sleeping at night, or what?
Well, I would love to mentor other towns and townships to do that. In fact, East Grand Rapids is in the process of setting up their own sustainability committee now too. I've met with their mayor and a few of their citizens. So I think they'll be doing it. In answer to your question, my husband says that I work too much, but I try to take it easy every now and then and go somewhere and have fun. So, but yeah, I would be happy to mentor anybody that wants to go down this road. So
Well, you've made it a great start, and I can see you're making a huge difference, and I just really salute you for that. Thank you so very much, and thank you for taking your time to present to us today.
well, thank you all for listening. I'm so happy to be here. So thank you, Deb, for inviting
you.
me.
Well, you're quite
Thank you,
welcome.
Mindy.
You
Thank you.
betcha.
Thank you very much.
Bye bye.
Bye-bye.
Too.